Welcome to Paranormal Almanac. With your host, Kurt Sandvig. That's right, I am your host, Kurt Sandvig, and I predict you'll like this edition. But first, as always, we have shout-outs. Shout-outs going out to our patrons. Head over to patreon.com/paranormalalmanac for all your patrons' needs. Shout-outs to Paige, Kaush, Sean, Deborah, Andrew, Tasha, Scott, Andrea, Devin, Melody, Ricardo, Vicky, Christopher, Vanessa, Marisol, Liam, Roger, Michael, Terminal Animal, Alicia, Derek, Becca, Elizabeth, Voidtech, Sherry, Art Muffin, Trudy, Tim, hey howdy hi, Kenneth, Paul, Ricardo, Danger Duck, Damien and Daniel, Ian, Eric, Brandon, Jen, Alexandra, George, Connie, Seth, Jason, Cindy, Kim, Ashley, what's that, Loki, Carrie, Ezram, Robin, Will, Lauren and Phil Mangano, Russell, Donald, April, Seth, Isabel, Audra, Dorian, Cindy, Bob, the Sean Bishop, Aloha, Paula, Jerry, Leo, Scustin, Lindsay, Holland, Megan, Aaron, Amy, Jeff T, Harley, Suzanne, Joe, Lawrence, Melissa, Lauren McCune, hey howdy hi, Veronica, Autumn, J. Mark Manning, Carolyn, Martin, Jade, Nanashi, Heidi, Chuck, Todd, Jamie, and Elijah Hendrickson, Juliana, Dan, Laura Pitts, and Gamer Fan. With special shout-outs to Joe and a Stitch, as always. All right, I got a lot to get to in this episode, so I want to get right on in to paranormal news. How cool was that? All right, the first story in paranormal news. Fact-checked. Altered video falsely claims to show UFO aboard aircraft carrier. The video shows UFO stationed aboard aircraft carrier. A video that was shared on Facebook claims to show evidence the military... Hold on one second, make sure everything's working here. Yeah, the military has stationed UFOs aboard aircraft carriers. The 40-second video shows a fighter jet, identified by a narrator as an F-18, landing on the aircraft carrier USS Gerald Ford in 2018, purportedly in the Mediterranean. As it goes to touchdown, we actually see a triangular-shaped UFO, like something that we write off an Alien movie. Now, the video was watched over 10,000 times in less than 24 hours since it was posted yesterday. The video has been around social media platforms as early as 2018. Iranian media published an article that made it go viral within a few days. While the video shows an authentic landing on an aircraft carrier, has been altered to show the purported triangular UFO. So everybody that's sending me this, I appreciate it. Please continue to send me weird crap like this, but you can stop now. That one has been proven to be fake. Let's see, the jet in the video is an F-18 Super Hornet. And like I said, it does show a real plane approaching and landing on the flight deck, but there was no UFO in the actual video. And, yeah, that's all I need to say about that. It's not real. It's not even like they're trying to get you by saying it's not real. No, it's just not real. Alrighty, up next in paranormal news, inside a dying Japanese town obsessed with aliens. The town is home to a striking mountain that residents believe attracts flying saucers. That's right, nestled among wooded mountains outside Fukushima City lies the small town of Aino, I don't know. Home to fewer than 1,900 people, the town breathes silence. Abandoned roads lead to nowhere, and some storefronts remain shuttered all year round. A fine layer of dust covers the squat frame of the city's tourist centers. But in the midst of the eerie silence, there are telltale signs that it isn't just another earthly town. That's right. As far back as the 1970s, a researcher of unidentified flying objects named Sugio Kinoshita said he first saw a UFO in 1972 at the age of 25 right there in that town, and since then, it's been a hotbed of paranormal activity. They said that Kinoshita was hiking a mountain in Fukushima with 4 friends when suddenly a saucer-shaped object appeared in front of them. This thing stuck out in front of me, starting and stopping in the blue sky. Then all of a sudden, it was gone. In September of 2020, Japan launched protocols to analyze aerial phenomena, encouraging Aino or Inos, alien believers, to open in June the country's first ever lab aiming to observe UFOs. Now, a key researcher at the UFO lab, they believe that aliens tried to make contact with him to let him know they exist. We're here too, on the other side of a distant sky. I think they just wanted to let us know that. So this tiny little town, like I said, 1,900 people live there, is the main hotbed for Japan trying to get to the bottom of, do UFOs exist? That's about all we need for that story. All right, I'm going to keep going on because, like I said, I got lots to get to. Up next, JetBlue pilot spots UFO transforming in midair 37,000 feet over Texas and beyond. Spectacular sight. Footage that appeared to have been taken from inside a cockpit shows a white dot hovering in the distance. It was posted to Reddit by a user who claimed his pilot friend filmed the encounter last week. It's a white spot. It can be seen disappearing before coming back and, quote, melting. The pilot is said to have noted there was nothing showing on the radar for air traffic control and nothing showing on the traffic collision avoidance system at the time the video was taken. He added, this was taken over Texas, 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, ground speed 537,000 feet high. We witnessed it for 5 minutes, at which point it disappeared and then came back. It looked like 2 boxes melting into each other. Actual sightings was spectacular beyond what the video shows. We were stunned. Now, the clip has been compared to the one about the Tic Tac UFOs that we all know about, and the rest of it we all know about. We know about the Pentagon report. We know about everything else. Let me watch this video.
You're the guy with the gun.
What?
The person who...
Why am I the guy with the gun? All right, let me skip that ad. By the way, I am not the guy with the gun. I'm the guy with the microphone. All righty, here we go. I guess I don't need the sound. I'll turn it down. It just sounds like I'm on an airplane. It's a white dot in the distance. Still a white dot in the distance. Still a white dot in the distance. Seems like it's a white dot in the distance to me. Oh, that's it? Oh, all right. Well, yeah, it's identified. It's a white dot in the distance. I don't know. I didn't see any of the disappearing and coming back and doing all the crazy, cool, fun stuff that they were talking about. Nothing melted, but I don't know. Well, I'll throw it up on the Facebook page. You guys can let me know what you think of it. I wasn't too UFO impressed with that. Up next in paranormal news, let's move away from UFOs and let's head on over to the Loch Ness. Guess how much this Loch Ness monster, not a monster, Cheeto, is going for on eBay. Ever wanted a Cheeto shaped like one of the world's oldest mysteries? Well, now you can buy one on eBay for only $850,000. That's right. The seller on eBay. Ooh, I wonder if it's still up for sale. Let's see if I can bid on it. Oh my God, it is. Rare Cheeto Loch Ness Monster Nessie Pop Culture Mythical Oddity Collectible. Buy it now for $935,000 or make a best offer. You know what? It looks like a Cheeto to me. It doesn't look like Nessie at all. I'm definitely going to post this one up on the Facebook page. In case you guys want to buy it for me, you can have it on, I can put it in the background or whatever. Actually, no, don't do that. If you have $935,000 to bid on this, just send me $935,000 as a patron. I'll get you a bunch of cool stuff. And instead of buying that Cheeto, I'll buy a house that I could actually live in and it'd be a nicer, be a nice place. Let's see. It says, this Cheeto reminds me of Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. I wouldn't recommend eating this item. It will be packaged and shipped with care. Please feel free to message me. Serious inquiries only. Must purchase at $100,000 or higher to own one of the world's most expensive Cheetos. Maybe you can set a world record. Final sale, absolutely no returns. Please purchase with confidence. Wow. Yeah, no one buy this for me. I can't appreciate a Cheeto $1 million worth. I just can't. Speaking of Loch Ness Monster sightings get simple detail wrong as probe sheds new light on the mystery. Nessie is often depicted looking like a plesiosaur with a long neck and head emerging from the water, but a recent study of a fossilized Elasmosaurus, which is a type of plesiosaur, has revealed they didn't hold their heads that way. Loch Ness Monster sightings could be at one simple detail wrong. That's right. The Elasmosaurus said that they don't hold their heads that way. Instead, They held its head below water or level with its body, according to Dr. Paul Schofield, a curator of the Canterbury Museum in New Zealand. Well, that doesn't mean they can't lift their heads out, does it? He said the labyrinth of the ear works best when the tiny bones within are able to hang unaffected by gravity. For this reason, the position of the inner ear within the skull of an animal reveals a lot about how the animals habitually hold its heads. We've examined the inner ear of Elasmosaurus and determined that their resting position was with their heads horizontal to the body or even well below the body. Okay, that's their resting position. They can still... This implies they probably did not frequently hold their heads up high. Okay, so it's not frequently, but you just admitted that you could do it. They could do it. Come on. The theory that Nessie is a living Elasmosaurus was promoted by Dennis Tucker, once a prominent zoologist at London's Natural History Museum. He was allegedly fired in 1960 over his beliefs and later died in France in 2009. New research is shedding light on the difference between the popular image of Nessie and what a real Elasmosaurus looks like. Neat. Hey, look, I love when science tries to explain something paranormal, but just because it doesn't hold its head up like that for very long doesn't mean it can't. Already up next in paranormal news, I want to keep going. We got a lot to get to. Bear, bobcat, chupacabra. Photo of paw prints at a Texas park has people guessing. There's pictures of a paw print left in the morning frost at a Texas park of people guessing what the creature could have made them, and most are guessing wrong. This happened on January 14th when they shared a picture on their Facebook page of animal tracks spotted on a nature trail boardwalk, challenging the public to guess which of the many residents left their marks. The answer? Let's see. That people thought maybe a raccoon, possum, ringtail bear, fox, skunk, quotamundi, chupacabra. Let's see. Oh, and they actually have an answer in an update. The update was, sorry folks, probably not a chupacabra, but a skunk. All right, cool. Last but not least in paranormal news, we were confronted by a Bigfoot-like Yowie ape man on our way home from work. Now, this is one I've talked about before, about the three guys that were coming home from work in Queensland, Australia, when they came across the Yowie. Well, they said that they haven't changed their story. They're still talking about it. They still don't know what it was they saw. And they said, I hardly slept that night, and the feeling was overwhelming. I've seen something I've never believed in previously. We're in utter disbelief about what we were seeing, and to this day, we still don't know. They go on to say that the locals from the tiny town of Jimna? Sure. With a population of just 91 people, have reportedly claimed to have seen evidence of the Yowie before and after they saw theirs. So, Yowie's still out there being a Yowie. Gotta love it. I love everything about Australia. Australians, how you doing? I haven't heard from my Australians in a little bit. Hope you guys are okay. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Paranormal Almanac. We are back. And for my first prediction on this edition, I predict that most of you fast-forwarded a lot already. If you did, that's fine. I know some people absolutely hate the shout-outs. Sorry. Patrons make these episodes the way, how they are. If it wasn't for the patrons, there'd be no Paranormal Almanac, so I'm never going to stop the shout-outs. I know some of you hate paranormal news. I just think it's something fun that not a lot of other people are doing, so I like to do it. But even if you fast-forwarded already, like I predicted, on this edition, let's look back at what psychics predicted for 2021, because I always like to see how they did. Then, let's look at some 2022 predictions. Some good, some terrifying. Spoiler. All right, before that, though, I thought it would be fun if I tried my hand at predictions for 2022. I decided that I would try prognostication. I would try to predict prognostication. What the hell is that word? Whatever. I would try to predict what would happen in 2022. Some safe bets and some not so safe bets. So on 12/31/2021, that's right, New Year's Eve 2021, while you were all out partying, I was writing down my predictions. I did it before I even read any of the psychics predictions that I'll be talking about in this edition. I did it before I even thought about doing this episode. Now, let me just say, I'm not playing it safe like a lot of the psychics out there. I'm going to try and blow your minds with predictions, but it's going to be up to you guys to remember to remind me to go back a year from today and see how I did. See if I got any right. What's my average for psychic predictions. Again, I am not a psychic, but I thought it'd be fun. I thought it'd be cool to try and see what my odds were like. All right, here you go. Ready for my predictions? 2022 will be the worst year for celebrity deaths since 2016. We will lose so many classic entertainers this year. Entertainers from your childhood will sadly pass away. Remember, I predicted that December 31st, 2021. 2022 will also see a resurgence in a lot of 80s actors' careers. So if you're into 80s actors, this is going to be a good year from them. Stocks will plummet until the middle of the year. Housing prices will continue to go up. No, stop talking to me, Siri. I'm doing a podcast. Housing prices will continue to go up. Bigfoot videos and photos will continue to be blurry. A surprise Star Wars project will blow your minds in 2022. Surprise Star Wars project. Not Boba Fett, but a surprise Star Wars project. A famous treasure will be found. More UFOs will be documented and more disclosure will happen. A celebrity sex scandal will surprise everyone. There will be a devastating earthquake and some more volcanoes will erupt. Again, December 31st, I predicted it. We already had an incredible, horrific eruption in Tonga. I made the prediction before that happened. I just want it noted. I predict severe storms and fires will continue this year around the world. I see more political conflict around the world, but especially in America. If you thought January 6th was bad last year, just wait till you see what happens politically this year. And finally, the Queen of England will pass away this year. Alrighty, that's it for my predictions. Some softballs, some little bit of hardballs, though. Let's see what happens. Let's see how I do. But let's also see how real quote-unquote psychics did in 2021. Because I scoured the internet for interviews with psychics at the beginning of last year to see what they said and how accurate they were. Now, for the first one, though, I must admit, he didn't even give any interviews last January. He was a slacker who did no interviews at all last year, probably won't do any interviews this year. I'm going to predict, I'll add this prediction to my list of predictions, that this person won't do any interviews in 2022 either. Instead, I had to go all the way back to the 1500s to see what he had to say about 2021. So what did Nostradamus say, or should I say, what did people that decipher his work say he said about 2021? Well, they said that Nostradamus said, fire and sparks in the sky. Now, some people think that refers to the fantastic meteor showers we had in 2021. Personally, I think that's quite the stretch. It could easily be referring to the fires around the globe. Sure, why not? But how about the Tesla satellites, those Interlink satellites that are in the skies? Because anything could mean anything if you're vague enough. I mean, look, fire and sparks in the sky is pretty damn vague. I don't think it meant anything. I think it meant fire and sparks in the sky. Let's see. In 2021, this is another Nostradamus supposed prediction. In 2021, a scientist will create a biological weapon and produce a virus that can turn humankind into zombies. All right, what did it actually say? Few young people, half dead to give a start, dead through spite. Well, that seems accurate. He will cause the others to shine, and in an exalted place some great evils to occur. Sad concepts will come to harm each one. Temporal dignified, the mass to succeed. Fathers and mothers dead of infinite sorrows. Women in mourning, the pestilent she-monster, the great one to be no more. All the world to end. I didn't get zombies out of that at all. I got to be honest. I didn't get like a virus would turn humankind into zombies. I didn't get any of that from what he said. But supposedly the people that, decipher his stuff said, yeah, in 2021, there was going to be a shit ton of zombies. And if he was predicting zombies, I'm going to say swing and a miss on that one there, Nostro, because it didn't happen. Now, he could mean the pandemic because, again, if you're vague enough, anything can mean anything. So maybe the pestilent she-monster, the great one to be no more, all the world to end, could have been the pandemic, but technically, That was like 2020. 2021 just kept it going. Let's see. He also goes on to say that great solar storms will impact Earth, causing waters to rise and grounds to fall underneath. Now, according to analysts, this quatrain is interpreted as California experiencing devastating blows. Well, didn't really happen in 2021. I mean, and not any more than it ever happens. So swing and a miss on that one. So far, 0 for 0. The sloping park, great calamity through the lands of the West, and Lombardy, the fire in the ship, plague and captivity, Mercury and Sagittarius, Saturn fading. Huh? I'm going to say nope and nope on that one either. I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but I'm going to say no. And I'm going to say that scoring-wise, Nostradamus didn't do too well for 2021. So I'm going to give him a 0 out of 0. I'm going to be scoring all the psychics. I'm going to be scoring all of the psychics on here. So Nostradamus, so far, I'm going to give you a 0 out of 0 for 2021. But let's see what he said about 2022. Because Nostradamus predicted that inflation and starvation will befall us. It'll befall us in 2022, writing, "So high the price of wheat that man is stirred, his fellow man to eat in his despair." All right. So I to me means that starvation, sure, I can get behind that one. But what about inflation? No idea why he's talking about inflation on there, but that's what they say it means, that there's going to be predicted inflation and starvation in 2022. He also said, "The moon in the full of night over the high mountain. The new sage with a lone brain sees it. By his disciples invited to be immortal, eyes to the south, hands in bosoms, body in the fire." Which some people say, oh, he's talking about AI and the leaps in AI that'll happen this year. Sure. If that's what he meant by it, all right, let's keep an eye open. Let's see if there's, big leaps in AI this year. Nostradamus also said, "For 40 years, the rainbow will not be seen. For 40 years, it will be seen every day. The dry earth will grow more parched, and there will be great floods when it's seen." Now, this fun one, the people that decipher his quatrain say he's talking about a nuclear war this year. So we got that to look forward to. Yeah, fun. All right, enough with that depressing dead a-hole. Let's move on to live psychics that can actually understand what the hell they're saying, and I don't have to have a bunch of people decipher it and go, "Oh, no, you didn't get that? The new sage with the lone brain sees it? Oh, that means AI." Or hands in bosoms, bodies in the fire? Of course he's talking about AI. What are you, dumb? I didn't get it. So let's do some live psychics. Now, the first one is Psychic Nikki. She says that she is a self-proclaimed psychic to the stars. She said this on January 1st, 2021. 2021 will be better than 2020. I think 2021 is a year of transition. So what you're going to see is we're going to try to cure the pandemic. The world will slowly get back to normal with vaccines helping, and it's going to be much better. People will help each other. I think by the fall of 2021, things should start moving in a forward direction, and we should start to get the economy back to normal. We might have to wear masks for a while, but I can see it being good now. Kurt here. It's not good now. I think the economy is going to take time to go forward because right now a lot of people don't have jobs. The hospitality industry is suffering. I don't want to say a recession, but close to it. But I think we'll all come out of this. I do. I think people will find innovative ways to continue, so you don't have to worry about that. I would watch where you put your money right now because it's a little volatile. All right, that's what she said. But now let's get to the important stuff that she said, the stuff that we were all wondering about in 2021, the real stuff. Who cares about COVID? Who cares about recessions? The good stuff. She said, January 1st, 2021, "I think Tom Cruise is going to have a bad year. I don't want to be pessimistic, but he blew a fuse on the set. I just think it's not going to be a great year for him, unfortunately. I like Tom Cruise as an actor, but I'm just getting that. And I think Johnny Depp is going to have a pretty tough time as well." All righty. So I thought, what happened with Tom Cruise in 2021? Did he have a bad year? So let's see. There were those bloated pictures of Tom from a baseball game. And I guess, Top Gun 2 got pushed back. So not a great year, but I don't think it's a bad year by any stretch for Tom Cruise. I don't think Tom Cruise can have a bad year. And I think anybody could have guessed Johnny Depp's year wasn't going to be stellar, since all that crap about his, I'll just say alleged, abuse happened in 2020. So that stuff was all pretty fresh topics for 2021. So yeah, no, low-hanging fruit there. All right, she goes on to say, Chadwick Boseman's going to receive a lot of awards. He might even be nominated for an Oscar and get an Oscar. Kurt here, just in case you guys can't remember back that far, he was nominated for an Oscar, that's true, posthumously nominated for an Oscar, but he lost to Anthony Hopkins. She goes on to say he's going to get a lot of posthumous awards. It could be for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I do see Viola Davis maybe being nominated for an Oscar and maybe winning. Kurt here, she was nominated but didn't win. She said there's going to be a lot of breakthroughs. So she said that she believes there will be major cures in the coming years. I see big breakthroughs in medicine. The ocean holds a whole new sphere for medical industry, sea life, and the ocean. They're going to come up with a cure for cancer in 2021. I think it's going to come sooner rather than later. And also Alzheimer's. I think they're going to come up with something for that, and MS, many medical breakthroughs. And I think they're going to come up with a new vaccine as well that will help people who have allergies that don't want to take the current vaccine. So they'll come up with something new, maybe by the fall. Sadly, no, and no. Look, hey, I want there, don't get me wrong. I want there to be cures for cancer and MS and Alzheimer's and COVID and everything else. Don't get me wrong. But you have to be honest, it didn't happen in 2021. Alrighty, so to score Nikki's predictions, I'm going to be generous and give her 3 points. They're easy points for sure, but 3 is her score. So right now we got Nostradamus 0, Nikki 3. But what of her 2022 predictions? They're out there. I'll give her this one. She doesn't go with the easy swings on this one. For 2022, she says, a horse is going to run loose through the streets of Toronto. Things are looking up after a lot of chaos. A stock market crash like the Great Crash will happen. There may be wars in the world. Kurt here. Seriously? Hot take there, Nikki. There may be wars in the world? Come on. She said there's going to be protests in the world. That's an easy swing. The end of the pandemic by the end of 2022. So, all right, something to look forward to. Besides that horse running loose through the streets of Toronto, which I know we're all looking forward to. She said it's going to be like the Roaring 20s. People going to bars, having fun, fucking. All right. Yeah, let's do that. Wait, hold on. No. There we go. People like that one. She said it's going to be way more spiritual. She also went on to say, the largest sea turtles ever will be discovered. A penguin will save a human's life. Personally, I'm looking forward to that one. Climate change will get worse. Well, yeah. Big earthquakes, 9.8s or 9.6s. Knock on whatever. Let's hope she's wrong. Let's have the penguin and the horse, but not the earthquakes. A meteorite will hit Earth. Trudeau will divorce and step down. Adele will get engaged. Royals. Queen could pass, and Charles will become king. Well, that's what would happen if the Queen passed. Meghan Markle wants to run for president in 2024 and will become either a Buddhist or a Scientologist. All right, some safe ones, but there's some pretty big swings for 2022. I can't wait to see which one of these happen, and I don't know how the hell I'm going to find out if a horse ran loose through the streets of Toronto, but we'll see what happens in 2020. All of my Toronto listeners, if a horse runs loose through Toronto, or Canadian listeners, please stop whatever it is you're doing and let me know immediately. All right, let's move on over to Ron Barrett. Now, he did 2021 predictions. He said, in regards to COVID-19, the vaccine will phase out the virus and more individuals will attempt to assimilate back into society. The new strain will not greatly affect our communities as long as COVID-19 precautions are taken into consideration. The strain is nothing new and unusual. Overall, in 2021, COVID-19 will phase out. And that was about it for good old Ron Barrett. So his score, 0, tied with Nostradamus. And he didn't have any predictions for 2022 that I could find. So we'll see what happens. Next is Suzanne Wagner, who said, This is about 2021. She said, "Be warned, the inauguration day is going to be one for the record books. There will be those who intend to create smoke bombs to confuse and conflate in this era of transition. Some refuse to go quietly into the night. There are those that want to feel the nebulousness of this event to further support the belief in an unfair election." That's it for her, and frankly, no points for her, because again, that was a very easy one to predict. I'm going to say no points. You get nothing. Sorry, Suzanne. Do better. And again, I couldn't find any predictions for 2022. So next up is Craig Hamilton Parker, who said, he's from England, he said, 2021 will be fraught with war, disease, and political scandals, the likes of which we have not seen in a long time. I've spoken before about the breakup of Europe sometime after Brexit. We will see it in the start of 2021. War in the Middle East between Iran and Israel, one of the most dangerous conflicts in 2021, will be between them, Israel and Iran. The U.S. will stop sanctions to try and reestablish diplomacy because of this war, but this will be disastrous for the moderate Iranians who will protest on the streets. Israel will strike Iran's nuclear facilities with the unlikely support of Saudi Arabia. He went on to say, Trump will put up a ferocious battle. He will take things to the high courts but will not succeed. Trump TV will be launched and will quickly become popular. A deal will be done with Fox TV to screen Trump TV shows. Craig's score? 0. Maybe 1 point, but I'll give him 1 point. Still, only 1 point. What did Craig say about 2022? Well, he said, "The Queen is ill at the time I'm speaking to you, and I don't like to predict a death, but I think we know the Queen is getting near to the end of her years. I think she'll make it past her platinum jubilee, but we will lose the Queen at the end of 2022. Charles will become king, but his reign will be short. The Epstein scandal's floodgates will be open this year." Kurt here. Good. Massive starvation in North Korea and Africa. Bad. Biden won't make it through the term and not far past 2022 and will claim health issues. He goes on to say he doesn't understand American politics, but he thinks a black woman will be very important to American politics. Look, talking about hedging your bets, the Queen is old, and a lot of people think that Biden isn't going to, last throughout his presidency, whatever you want to say about him. I'm not going to get political on this one. These are easy predictions. Hell, I even put the Queen on my list of predictions because it's a, fairly safe bet. He goes on to say that Russia will shut off portions of the power grid in the U.S. Okay, that's a bold one. Through cyber attacks. 2022 will see a big proliferation in nuclear weapons, and that Japan will start stockpiling nukes. All right, Kurt here. That is a huge swing since Japan can't have nukes. So that's a big one to keep an eye on. If that happens, that's a big swing for Craig. He goes on to say a swarm of insects invades America, a big oil spill in Canada, a large fire in a colder alpine area, and a new energy source, a 0-point energy source, will come into effect in 2022. London and Paris will be flooded in 2022. A terrorist gunman will infiltrate a peaceful protest. Trump will announce he's running for president on his own news channel. So, some pretty big swings. Let's see what happens. Like I said, the big one would be if Japan started stockpiling nukes. Then I would give that guy some serious, but I'll give him 2 points if that happens. Alrighty, next up is psychic Michelle Welch. She said in 2021, inauguration's transfer of power will be bumpy. Trump won't go easily. The pandemic will be tough. No travel till June or July. There will be a third vaccination. So for her, I'll give her 3 points. Easy points, but 3 nonetheless. Here's what Michelle said is coming for 2022, though. COVID is weakening. I do see restrictions beginning in 2022 that some will embrace and some will not like. Ooh, hot take. It will eventually run its course. Second half of the year, it'll be gone. It'll mutate but weaken. All right, so second half of the year of 2022, no more COVID. Let's fingers crossed. This will be a pivotal moment in U.S. history as previous interpretations of the Constitution will overturn to be loosely interpreted, basically involving freedom of speech primarily, she says. More disruption regarding 2022 voting and elections, but not much will be done about it. Republicans will hold the Senate. Momentum is their friends at the moment, so unless things shift, they have a chance, and they may also take the House, too. A lot of American politics in this one. Sorry, international listeners. We may see some extreme shakeups in U.S. government leadership, unrelated to the election, though. All right, see what happens. She says that social media will continue to change and will continue to affect the way people do business and communicate. Tightening and censorship of freedom of speech. Yay. She said there's going to be way more armchair quarterbacks online. That's an easy swing. There's always will be. There may even be peace talks held in the Middle East. No real resolutions will be reached, and war in the form of terrorism, but perhaps actual war, will loom over 2022. So we've already, not too far into it, we've already gotten a couple people saying, 2 or 3 people saying there's going to be some serious war going on in 2022. For her, though, she says, nope, Japan will keep a level head as a country and will lie low. She says China is growing, will continue to grow in our world power dominance. Russia will invade someone, the Ukraine. Well, they've been on the border of the Ukraine, basically waiting to invade for about a year now. So, interesting, some swings, but some easy softballs as well. Alrighty, finally, let's get into, is it finally? I don't know if that's the last one. No, it's not the last one. Next, let's get to Baba Vanga's predictions for 2021. Now, if you don't know who Baba Vanga is, or was, I should say, she was a blind clairvoyant from the Balkans. Now, she died more than 20 years ago. Her real name was Vangelia Gustarova, and Baba Vanga was nicknamed, quote, the Nostradamus of the Balkans. She said that when she lost her sight, she gained this other sight, the sight of being able to be psychic and predict things. Now, she died in 1996 at the age of 85. She said that 2021 would be the year that a cure for cancer is found. There's a couple people that have said that, a few people actually. And in fact, it was even talked about briefly by Trump, I think in 2020, about like, yeah, we're going to have a cure for cancer. So maybe it was found and it just hasn't been released to us because, there's no money in a cure, unfortunately. She also mysteriously predicted that the 45th president of the United States would suffer from a disease that would leave him deaf and cause brain trauma. Again, not to get political, but for you keeping score at home, the 45th president of the United States was Donald Trump. She also predicted an assassination attempt against a Russian president and the rise of the use of chemical weapons. Can't really give her many points. I don't think I can give her any points, to be honest with you. I'll give her 1. You guys figure out which point I give her. So what did she say about 2022? The consciousness of people will change. Difficult times will come. People will be divided by their faith. Now, she had successfully predicted the tsunami of 2004, but for 2022, she said that several Asian and Australian countries will be hit by massive flooding, leading to hundreds of deaths. She said that another lethal virus will be discovered by a team of researchers in Siberia. As of now, the virus is frozen. That's, considering when she died, that's a pretty good bet. That's a pretty good get, because that's probably going to happen very soon. She said, we are witnessing devastating events that will change the fate and destiny of humanity. The petrol production will stop and the earth will rest. Boy, if something happens in 2022, I hope it's that one. I hope it's not these floods and deaths and, nuclear war. Let's have that one. She said the 3 giants will unite. Some people will have red money. I see the numbers 100, 5, and many zeros. A strong dragon will seize humanity. Now, some people, kind of like Nostradamus, have interpreted this to say, oh, well, the dragon is the symbol of China. The 3 giants are the 21st century global superpowers, China, Russia, and India. Now, she suggested, or many people have suggested, that the red money she referred to could be the 100 yuan, 100 won, or the 5,000 ruble, because both of them are red in color. She said that India will be hit by several locust attacks in 2022. This will destroy crops and agricultural plots, further leading to famine. She also said there will be a sharp rise in temperature, as high as 50 degrees Celsius. So she's basically saying there's going to be a world war. That the people involved in the world war will be China, Russia, and India, which is interesting. Let's see, there'll be an increase in catastrophes. Australia, several Asian countries will be hit by intense bouts of floods, like I said, but resulting in more earthquakes and tsunamis for the rest of the world. Water shortages around the world. In 2022, more than any other time, people will spend more time in front of screens, she said. Due to our increasing addiction to technology, people will begin to confuse fantasy and reality. So that's interesting. That's VR as well. Someone else mentioned AI. Well, here we got VR. Again, from way back when, from the 90s. Finally, she said that humanity will have contact with aliens, not in 2022, but in the next 200 years. So you got a little ways to wait for that one. Alrighty, let's see. Let's continue on. Let's go to another psychic. These are a married couple. This is about 2022. His name is Skip, his wife Sharon. They say, our political scene in October is going to kind of explode. I'm wondering what's going to happen, what's going to go on in France, because there's going to be something in the chaotic realm. So October, something crazy is going to happen in France. I think we're going to see a severe downswing in the stock market, but it's going to start coming right back up. Ooh, I predicted that one. All in all, I think we're going to see a severe downswing. It's going to come right back up. It should be fine. And that's about it from Skip and his wife, Sharon. So let's move on to the final one on this episode. I know it's a little bit of a shorter episode, but, it's predictions. Come on. Plus, it's free. Come on. I predict this episode will be less than an hour. It's going to be shorter. So for the final people on here, they're called the Kakala. The Kakala is a religious group. I'll just say group. I'm going to be very friendly and say group. They're in Thailand. And, well, I don't know how to really say it other than, shall we say that their members communicate directly with aliens through meditation is the easiest way of saying it, basically. They have had some seriously, surprisingly accurate predictions like Fukushima. And I gotta say, the reason I'm adding them to this list is because their predictions, like I said, they have a fairly good track record for predictions. Their predictions for this year aren't that positive. So, nothing like ending an episode on apocalyptic predictions, but here you go. The Kakala warned one visitor that visited them, because apparently if you can make it there, you can visit them. They warned one visitor, World War III will start in 2022. They also predicted, this is back in 2017, so it's for 2022, volcanoes along the Ring of Fire will erupt, and tsunamis will harm Chile, San Andreas, and especially Yellowstone. All right, I don't know how much you guys know about the San Andreas Fault, besides that movie by The Rock, by Dwayne Johnson, but that would be devastating if we had a severe earthquake along the San Andreas Fault line. But the big one here, though, are the volcanoes, and them especially mentioning Yellowstone, which is a super volcano. There's actually a couple of super volcanoes. There's one that may exist right by the Salton Sea. We had an earthquake a couple of years ago. Some geologists said it seems like the earth is rising, the ground is rising right over here by the Salton Sea. And then the military said, oh, it's a military base now, you can't come over here. So it was out in the desert, so it's not like that big of a deal. But the fact they did it leads a lot of people to think that there's another supervolcano or connected supervolcano in California that if San Andreas went off, that fault line went off, it could affect that supervolcano and Yellowstone. So, yeah. For those keeping score at home, there have been a lot of volcanoes rumbling already in 2022. We're only 20 days in. It's kind of scary. It's kind of terrifying. But if the Kalkala are to be believed, we have a hell of a lot more of volcanoes along the Ring of Fire, earthquakes along the Ring of Fire, tsunamis along the Ring of Fire. But the tsunamis will harm Chile. That's a big one. So keep an eye on that. And World War III. All righty. What do you guys think about these psychic predictions? Do you think they were all too easy, too softballish? Do you think that, they're playing it safe? These psychics are playing it safe by saying the easy ones? Or do you think that some of these might know what they're talking about and it could be a devastating 2022? I mean, some people did say that 2022 is going to be a lot of fucking and a lot of dancing and partying and like the roaring 20s. So maybe not, but then there's other ones that are going, nah, screw all that crap. World War III, it's going to be terrible. Another virus, blah, blah, blah. What do you guys think? I love psychic predictions. Good, bad, and weird, like the horse running through Toronto or the penguin saving someone's life. I can't wait for a penguin to save someone's life in 2022. That's going to be a paranormal news. I'm guaranteeing it now. I'm calling it now. That'll be a definite paranormal news if I find a penguin has saved a human's life. And the largest sea turtles ever will be discovered. All right, that's cool. I'm down for some big-ass turtles. But a lot of these, kind of scary. Nothing like bumping up the anxiety, which is already really high because of the past 3 years. But you know what? I also think the future is what you make of it. So make it a good one. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to be fine. I think you guys will all be great. I predict that Paranormal Almanac's only going to get bigger and better. The 200th episode is definitely happening in 2022, so you got that to look forward to. Come hell or high water, I'm getting a 200th episode out there, and I'm going to have a psychic do some predictions on the 200th episode. I've already reached out to someone. She said she'd be really interested in doing it. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I've got some guests lined up that you guys have asked about, so that it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a good one. Sean Bishop's going to be on there. Mickey from the first episode. I had a great suggestion on the Facebook page about who you'd like to hear. And they were like, Mickey, he was on the first one. Throw him on the 200th episode. And other people were like, yeah, Mickey. Yep, Mickey said he will definitely be on the 200th episode. Hopefully I can get Elijah recorded for the 200th episode. Timing, hopefully it all works out. Todd, I want to be on the episode. There's a lot of people I want to be on this episode. Maybe even David Oman. We'll do another David Oman, you know. You never can tell. It's going to be a big, big episode is all I'm saying. My goal is to blow your guys' socks off with the 2022 episode. 2022 episode? The 200th episode in 2022. All righty. Thanks again for listening. Hope you guys like this one. It's a little bit of a different episode, but I think it's kind of neat. Remind me in a year's time to you know, let's score me, see how I did, because we had who? We had Nikki with 3 points. We had somebody else with 3 points. Nikki and who was the other one? I don't remember who the other one was. Michelle? Yeah, Nikki and Michelle both had 3 points. So I'm gunning for a higher score than 3 because they're professional psychics. Me, I just play one on TV. Once again, I'm your host, Kurt Samig, and this has been another edition of Paranormal Almanac. Då så pass ett laban helt mycket liksom om oss. Ska du